Hi friends, and welcome back to You Can Yoga Too. Today we have our second video for our healthcare heroes, for everything that you're doing right now and all the time. So this one is for after your shift or at any time where you need to wind down. So this is going to take you through more of like we're going to start a little more high energy and then we're going to take it down into the chill zone. All right, so let's get started. First, we're going to come to a nice child's pose. So you can bring the knees closer together or keep the knees nice and wide apart. You're gonna press the hips back toward the heels, and I'm gonna reach my hands back toward my feet. But remember, you always wanna take space and make space. So if this feels like you're too scrunched up, take the knees wide, take the arms wide. We're just here for a couple of breaths to make that shift. So we want to shift from letting all our energy go out to all the things that we deal with, to all the people that we deal with, and we're shifting it back to you. Centering and tuning into the breath. And then walk the fingers in to come up. We're going to come up on your knees, so if you need a blanket or a little cushion under those knees, make sure to do that. And we're going to release some of that kind of wild energy, okay? To bring it into focus. So reaching the arms up, we're gonna sync up the breath and movement. So you're gonna inhale here, and on your exhale, you're gonna come down into a child's pose and wing the arms behind you, okay? On the inhale, reach up, and then exhale, really just push that junk out. You don't need that. You don't need that stress. You don't need that nonsense. So we're gonna reach up and use your breath. Let it go, push it out. Inhale, reach it up. You can even look up here and then big breath out, letting go of stress. Last one, inhale, breathe, reach up. Exhale, letting it go. Yeah, awesome job. All right, now we're gonna come into our tabletop pose and come into our cat-cows. So pulling back on the hands, we're gonna drag the chest forward, stretch the belly long, look up, and then exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, chin down. Inhale, pull back on the hands, tilt the tailbone up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And then we'll come back to our neutral tabletop and set up for our down dog. So we're gonna step the hands just a little bit forward, gripping into the mat, tucking the toes, pressing up and back into our downward facing dog. So again, we wanna externally rotate those arms, pulling the triceps back, pressing into each little fingertip. Stretching the spine long here. I'm gonna paddle my feet because I think that feels good. You don't have to. Let a little movement in your dog. Let the head go, shake it out. And then on your exhale, we'll come back down to the knees. And from here, we're gonna go into our dolphin pose. So it's basically just like down dog, except for you're on your forearms. So you can come down to your forearms like this with the fingers spread. I like to interlace my fingers. My shoulders are really tight, so if I do this, they go all over the darn place. So I'm gonna interlace my fingers. You can try it both ways. And then we're gonna curl up on the toes, just like we did for down dog. And we're gonna press into the forearms and the toes to lift up and back. So again, you don't wanna lock the knees here and mess up the low back. You want to curl the tailbone up just like you did in down dog, but your head isn't touching the floor here. You're pressing through the forearms to press your chest closer to your thighs. Releasing stress of the day, feeling the blood flowing around the body. And then on your next exhale, we'll bring the knees back down. And this time, instead of going into a child's pose where we press the hips back towards the heels, we're going to keep the hips over the knees and walk the hands forward into our puppy stretch. So 3 or 4 breaths here. This is stretching through the upper back a little bit more. Puppies. And then walk the hands back in. And one more time, we're gonna tuck the toes, come into our downward facing dog, just for a breath. So make sure you get a big breath in your dog, press back, and then walking the feet up to the hands. We let the upper body dangle as we slowly roll back up to stand. Into our mountain pose. Shoulders come gently back and down. Palms shine forward. Feet are grounded into the earth. And then from here, we're going to take it to the wide side of the mat. So we're going to turn and heel toe the legs out nice and wide. And then from here, we're going to turn the left toes out, coming into our warrior 2. So turn those left toes out, getting that heel to arch alignment, pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, keeping the knee over the ankle. And then when you're ready, we float the arms up. So remember, these are our warrior poses. We want to have strong legs, strong arms, soft face, calm breath. So really keep pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. Think of lifting your inner right thigh away from the floor. And you can gaze over those left fingertips. Really strong. Remember, these are called warrior poses for a reason. They're really grounding and really empowering. Not particularly easy, but you got this. One more big breath, and then straighten through the left leg. We're going to come into our triangle pose. So I'm going to walk my back foot in just a little bit. We're going to shift forward over that left leg. Left fingertips come down, right hand comes up. So you might come to the thigh, the shin. I'm going to take my block to the pinky toe side of my left foot. That way I can get length from left hand to right hand and keep my torso nice and long. Still pressing into the left big toe. And you can look up at that right hand or just look straight ahead if your neck isn't feeling it today. One more big breath in. And then just like I'm pulling on that right hand, you're gonna come all the way up to center. We're going to bring the hands to the hips. All 10 toes are going to go to the long side of the mat. Take a big breath in, hands to hips. Puff the chest out, lengthen the spine, and then hinging right from the hips, we're going to fold forward. Bringing as much bend to the knees as you need to. You can bring the forearms to the tops of the thighs here. You can bring the fingertips down to the floor or to blocks, or to the back of a chair. Still pressing into the outer edges of both feet. Letting it go. And then on your next inhale, we're going to come halfway up, look up, and then squeeze the legs together. And we're going to take that to the second side. So now we're going to turn the right toes out toward the short side of the mat, making sure you have that heel to arch alignment. Bending into the right knee strong, pressing into the outer edge of the left foot. And then when you're ready, add those arms. And you can always, if this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, you can always shorten the lever and bring the elbows in toward the body. You can also just keep the hands on the hips. Whatever you need to do here to make the pose your own. And I know you're like, Katie, if you make me hold this warrior 2 for one more second, I'm gonna die. You're not gonna die, I promise. You got this. When it gets challenging, breathe deeper. You're so strong. One more big breath in. And then straighten through that right leg, coming to our triangle pose on the right side. So I'm going to take my block with me. You get whatever props you need to do to find your triangle. Reach the arms out long. Shift forward. Right hand comes down. Left hand comes up. And you can always practice this pose against the wall. If you're having trouble with your triangle, you can go back to my yoga fundamentals. I show a bunch of variations, little tips and tricks for your triangle pose. Pressing into the big right toe. Make sure you know when you go too low, when that chest starts to sink, that arm starts to sink, we want that chest open, facing the wall, not the floor. And one more big breath in, and then come back up to center. All 10 toes go forward, and we're just gonna heel toe the legs back together and come back down to the mat. And then we'll come down to sit in our staff pose. So we want the legs out long in front of us, sitting up nice and tall. If you have problems sitting up straight, you can always put a little blanket or something under your bum. If you lift the hips a little bit, it's way easier to sit up straight. I'm going to use a strap here, loop it around the feet, sitting up nice and tall, keeping the feet flexed, belly in, and on an exhale, we're going to fold forward. So I'm not going as far as if I just reached up and folded over the legs. This is just a little more of an active stretch. My knees still have a soft little bend in them. This is a really good way to practice belly to thigh folding. Big breaths here. Shoulders back and down, chest forward. And then inhale to sit up tall, and we'll take a little twist. So we're gonna bring that right leg in, bring that right arm up and back, tent the fingertips, press through the fingertips to sit up tall, reach that left arm forward to hug the knee and come into the twist. So again, we wanna keep that left foot flexed, twisting from the upper body, using that right hand to keep your spine nice and long. Nice big belly breaths in our twist. And then we'll let it go, and let's take it to the other side. And then the right foot comes out long, left knee comes in. Reach the right arm forward, reach the left arm up and back and over, and hug the knee, looking over the left shoulder. Twist. And then exhale, let go. Come back to center, and we're gonna roll down to our backs. So from here, before you roll down and get comfy, you are gonna need a block or a bolster or a cushion or any of those things that you're using for your block. And we're gonna scoot down and take a supported bridge pose. So holding on to the backs of the thighs, rolling back down to your back. And it's just like a regular bridge pose, except for you're gonna use your block to support you. So on the inhale, you're gonna lift the hips up just enough that you can scooch that block right under your tailbone and then release it back down. You can also go to the second setting here if you want a little more lift. But just don't go all the way up and down. A little too much. And then breathe here, letting the chest open, letting gravity do a little bit of the work. Feeling your feet on the floor. Everything go.
out of this, you just want to lift up enough that you can scoot that block out from underneath you and put it back to the side. Then we're going to take a little hip stretch. So we're going to lift that left foot up, bring the left ankle to the top of the right thigh, and open up, keeping that left foot flexed. Or you can reach through, interlace, take the thigh, push that left hip open, and lay back down. You want to keep your left foot flexed here. And if this hurts your left knee, you want to bring that right foot down and just gently press the leg open with the left hand. Not trying to stretch the knee out here, just get a little opening in the hip. And then exhale, bring the right foot down, bring the left foot down, and we'll switch sides. So you're going to bring that right ankle to the top of the left thigh, either staying here, pressing the thigh away, or reaching through and interlacing and laying back down. And again, if it hurts this knee, go back to option 1. You don't have to do the exact same version on both sides. Remember, we're using these poses to fit your body. We're not changing your body to stuff it into poses. And then exhale, you can release that foot back down. And then we're just going to come into a little butterfly stretch here. So bringing the bottoms of the feet together, letting the knees splay out. You can take one hand to the belly, and one hand to the heart. Breathing in calm and exhaling stress. And from here, we're going to slide our hands to the outside of the legs and just press the knees back together. And we're going to come into legs up the wall. So there's no real cute way to get into legs up the wall. Basically, you want to just scoot your butt all the way up to the wall, and then it's exactly like it sounds. You want to bring the legs up. And then release the arms next to you and just relax. You want to minimize the effort here. My favorite restorative pose. You can do this anytime you need a bit of calm. Even if you wake up in the middle of the night, say, and you can't sleep, you can do this pose. And just feel the calm coming over you in little waves. Mind wanders, just notice the thoughts, and then come back to the breath. Remember, the breath is your anchor. You're not bad at this if your mind wanders off. It just takes practice. So just notice those thoughts as they float in, and let them float back away. to slowly come out of this pose. Starting to bring the feet down. And again, don't try to be real cute about this. It's going to be awkward no matter what. And then come back to your mat. Stretching the legs long, flipping the palms up toward the sky for your Shavasana. And this is where I will leave you. Please stay here as long as you have time for it in your Shavasana, focusing on your breath, letting your body relax. Thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you next time.